Hi, thanks for tuning in today. Today I'm going to do a review on this analytic lexicon to the Septuagint. And as I've told you in previous videos, we're in the process of a move, and so things are a little chaotic, and so some of the stuff that I would take a little bit of time editing and things like that are just kind of falling by the wayside. But I did want to do this review of this analytical lexicon to the Septuagint. Now, what I wanted to say about this is, if you're looking for very in-depth lexical information, this isn't going to be probably your first choice, but I'm going to discuss that. But that doesn't make this not useful. In fact, I would probably encourage you, if you're interested in the Septuagint, to get this volume. But we're going to dive into it. I'm going to share some thoughts for you on that. And then also in this video, my oldest daughter, who is 4 years old, almost going to turn 5 here soon, my 4-year-old anyways, really wanted to get in on one of these videos. And so at the end of this, you're going to hear some random thoughts from my 4-year-old about the Bible. And so if you want to stick around, if you want to stick around for that, that'll be there. And so like little things like that cough, normally I would edit that stuff out. I just don't have the time to do it now. So anyways, this is kind of raw and uncut. But anyways, we will get into this. Stay with me. Let's jump into it in just a second. Okay, so this is really cool. If you don't know what an analytical lexicon is, and there's a good chance maybe you don't, an analytical lexicon lists words based on their the form that you're exposed to in the text. So most lexicons, whether it's BDAG, Thayer, or whatever, will list words according to their lexical form. And if you've been doing much reading in Greek, you'll find that sometimes that's not all that helpful, because by the time the word gets into the aorist and perfect forms and does all sorts of morphological changes, sometimes that's just not that helpful. It's hard to figure out what the lexical form was. And especially when you're reading something like the Septuagint and you're being exposed to words that maybe you didn't learn, and then trying to go back and look them up. This has every word that appears in the Septuagint, in the Ralph's edition, I believe it is. And I'll just kind of show you. There's not a whole lot to say about this volume. I mean, I could talk a little bit about the physical qualities. It's just a glued binding. But it opens up quite nicely. We'll get into some of that. I'll zoom down on the text, show you what this is, and also kind of share with you some thoughts. Actually, before we do that, let me just say this. When I was younger and I hadn't really got into reading Greek, I just was interested in Greek, I thought that, one word would, really make this huge difference. And in some ways, I think, one word can make a really big difference. But sometimes you'd see, the 10-volume set, the Theological Dictionary of the New Testament, and that's fine. Kittle's Theological Dictionary of the New Testament. What sometimes people get in the and this is everything I'm about to tell you is relevant to this lexicon. So just stay with me for a second. But it's easy to get in this mindset. When you see a 10-volume set of a dictionary for the New Testament, some people get in this mindset like Greek is like a magic language, and every single word just packs so much meaning. Now, sometimes it's true that there's nuance, and certain words have different, they resonate in a certain way. But sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to pack way too much meaning in just one little word, as if that one word, carried the whole weight of a passage. Now, again, there are instances where one word can make a big difference, and there are nuances in words, so I'm not taking any of that away. I'm just saying that you can get too caught up in that. Sometimes you can see that a word will have a semantic range, that is a range of meanings, and then some people will try to just pack all of that meaning into that one word, and I think you can try to do too much with one word. What's really cool about this lexicon is that it just gives you the basic glosses, and when you're reading the text and you're reading it devotionally and you come to a word that you don't know, sometimes all you need is that basic gloss. You don't need 10 pages of information. I mean, really, think of an English word. How many English words do you need 10 pages of explanation in Spanish to actually understand? It's the same way with Greek. For the most part, most words can be defined with 3 or 4 glosses, and you get the basic gist of the word. Now, again, there's exceptions and there's nuances. There's different words that will, kind of have some background and things like that. I understand that. But this will give you the basic gloss so that you can get into it, that you can read it devotionally, and let the whole passage, let the whole force of the text run over you more like a river, rather than trying to get take a word and just try to wring it out and try to get all the meaning out of one word. So anyways, that's that. Let me show you this lexicon. We'll zoom down on it now and take a look. All right, here it is. This is by Bernard Taylor, and you can hear my excited children upstairs. And you got your introduction. Like I said, this is just a glued binding, but what's cool about it is you don't have to get very far into it, and it will pretty much lay flat. So that's nice. This was done in 2009 by Hendrickson Publishers. Yeah, so just a basic introduction of how to use it. Different features here. Now, what it is you can look up any word that you find in the Septuagint that maybe you're unfamiliar with. You can find it here, and then it will take you back to the lexical form. So you can look it up, and that ID just basically bumps you up to the word ahead, and then in bold you have your lexical form. So you can look it up, find your lexical form. Once you see that lexical form, your lexical form will be in bold, and then you can find it. So you don't actually have to know the lexical form if you see a word in the Septuagint that you're unfamiliar with. Okay, so let's say you have your Septuagint and you want to look up a word. Let's just take a word here. Let's say you didn't know the word diabulia. And so you've got it right here. You don't know what the lexical form is. So you pull up your lexicon here, and you can hear my son acting like he's a bear upstairs. I think that's what's going on. If you hear a growl up there, we're not being attacked by wild animals. It is my son who is himself acting like a wild animal. And then we just flip over here to diabulia, or diabulia. Sorry, that's probably how you pronounce it with modern pronunciation. Diabulia. And that would be from the lexical form diabulion. And you go back to diabulion, and that's counsel, deliberation, decree, intrigue. And then you've got your parsing right here. So anyways, I beg the pardon of people who pronounce Greek well. But anyways, that is how you use this. That's how it's useful. You don't have to know the lexical form. You can look it up here, and it's in alphabetical order. It'll have the parsing information. It will show you what the lexical form is. You can look it up, and you can get a basic gloss. That's what this is. So you don't have to be reliant on a reader's edition. If you want to use something like the Biblia Graeca, that's really makes it easy. So this is the ISBN number if you want to look that up. Nice handy size. That might be, I don't know, I'm just guessing now, maybe a little over an inch, maybe 1.25 inches thick, but very handy reference guide, and it can be a good alternative. Although I will say that this edition right here is really handy to have. But if you don't want to rely on a reader's edition, this is a really cool tool to have. So I promised you get to see my daughter give you some information on the Bible, but I'm showing you now empty shelves, and as we're preparing for our move. But without further ado, here's Hadassah. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to read my script. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you.
Oh, that's a good one. Do you have any other thoughts to share with us?
Do not be afraid, neither be, because the Lord God is with you, wheresoever thou goest.
Wow, that's another good scripture. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
God wants us to do good to others. When they hit you or something, you don't have to hit them back. Just talk to God, and then make friends.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's some good advice. Anything else you want to say?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
When you are scared, you're supposed to pray to God, but some people don't know God, so they just don't pray before they go to bed, or they don't pray when they eat.
Are you serious? There's people that don't pray when they eat?
Yeah.
Oh, what should we do about that?
We should pray to God about it.
Yeah? Huh. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
And the Lord always loves us, but he never goes to sleep at bedtime because he wants to watch over us.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Any other things you wanted to say?
God is with us all the time because he was in a story, and then he was into heaven.
Wow. That's really good. So what did Jesus do for you?
He died on the cross for our sins.
Wow. What happened after that?
He rose in heaven.
Wow. That's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
When you're scared, you're supposed to pray to God. But some people have bad dreams, but they just tell their mom, but the mom can't work out. Then they ask your dad, and then they can't help you. They're supposed to pray to God for help. He can help.
Are there some people that don't pray to God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to pray, then the bad dreams come like silly dreams.
I see. Okay. Any other thoughts?
No.
Okay. All right. Thank